Hi again, in today's video I challenged myself to beat Minecraft using the Sans origin. The main crux of this origin is that you only have a single heart of health and you're unable to wear armor or use shields to defend yourself whatsoever. Your melee damage is also severely decreased. In turn, you do have the ability to dodge damage at the cost of some exhaustion, as well as some other useful abilities such as the Ghast Blaster, throwing bones, as well as various other speciality attack types. This entire challenge run was streamed all to my YouTube channel, so if you want to see all the original VODs, they will be in the link down below. Either way, let's begin. Now, the first stream and ultimately the first world and first attempt at this challenge was a complete and utter failure. First off, it was streamed over on Twitch, so the VODs aren't even up on YouTube at this point in time. Secondly, the seed that I spawned in randomized was completely terrible in my personal opinion, at least for the needs that I wanted. It might be good for a building seed, but for a seed where I would like to get access to some villages and other buildings along those lines, it was ultimately just a really bad starting position. Secondly, I died within 13 minutes of doing the seed due to some mismanagement and also just a lack of understanding of my abilities properly.
No. This is where it gets messy because I can't exactly control much. Yep, that's where I get messy. I went frozen and then died.
And after spending around another 30 minutes trying to search for my stuff and find where I died, I ultimately gave up on a world that I would end up abandoning by the next stream. Speaking of which, we spawned in a village. Yeah, it ultimately ended up becoming way worth it to swap seeds because the next seed I got was a village seed right at spawn. There was ultimately another one just over the river too, just to my luck, but we'll get to that a little later. After a brief look around the village, I decided to go and tear down my first tree, collect some wood, and then murder the iron golem in the village by using my abilities. Ultimately, it was a weird test to learn how to use these abilities properly. Originally, I did stack up into a nice tower to get myself an advantage against the Iron Golem, but due to my lack of understanding of how my Ghast Blaster work, I accidentally hit myself and knocked myself off my little tower. Ultimately, I would have to train around the Iron Golem around the village whilst I just kept spamming Ghast Blasters and bones at him, really. Regardless of that, I successfully killed the Iron Golem without too much of an issue, just a bit of time, really. And after murdering a few cows,
that cow had a bad time. He just got absolutely brutalized by a blaster.
Anyhow, I continue to explore the village, finding ultimately nothing useful, but something funny anyway.
Level 2, Nick. Yeah, let's go. That's the most disappointing chest you'll probably ever.
Also collected some wheat and started crafting up some tools using the iron that I collected from the good old Iron Golem, and then a few extras from other chests. After organizing myself a bit, getting myself some gear, getting some food cooked up, getting some tools, yoinking a bed, I decided to explore a little further from the village. I end up coming across a ravine, which I just take a great big leap into it because I'll just dodge the fall damage rather than taking it.
Why the hell did... Oh, I landed on dripstone. That's why I took 2 dodges there.
After collecting all the resources that I can see easily in this ravine, I head back out and start more exploring again. I then discover that there's a second village that is separated from my current village by just a river. Not by many blocks, it's literally just a nice wide river.
So not only did I spawn in a village, there's another one just across the way.
Anyways, I start exploring this village. You know, the typical rundown of finding a village. You search through it because you're trying to find the illustrious blacksmith. Unfortunately, the one I spawned in didn't have one. Fortunately though, this second village did have a blacksmith to find and dig loot into.
Hey, it's a blacksmith. We like these. Those are diamonds. We'll take those.
After collecting all the valuable loot inside of that awesome blacksmith chest, I head over to the shipwreck that is kind of very submerged into the ground. Effectively, you can only see the logs from the top of the sails, so I pretty much just had to do a lot of digging around in order to actually gain access to any of the chests that would have been inside of this shipwreck. After exploring the shipwreck of all that it has to offer in its loot, I decided to go explore the desert a little bit further. And I find a massive ravine that I would ultimately take a little bit of a jump in for the sake of because I can.
I love that part of this. You don't have to care how much fall damage you're meant to be taking because you're only going to take enough for one hit anyway.
Anyway, I mined around this ravine, collect a lot of the ore that's hidden around it, and just randomly as I was enjoying the awesomeness of that ravine, I was mining away and broke my pickaxe, which unleashed a bone in my bare hands. Due to my proximity, it ultimately killed me.
Is awesome, but... Well, that's frustrating.
After I returned to the point of which I died, it turns out all my stuff had despawned. Now, unfortunately, I'm not really too sure exactly what's happened here. Now, what I'm gathering from the people in the live stream at the time, they said that it was something to do with how the karma ability functioned with that bone, that it will accidentally destroy your stuff as well. But there was a single piece of cobblestone there that would have came from the cobblestone that I broke as I died. It seems like that there's a weird bug with this origin that causes your inventory to not drop on death, meaning that you lose everything that you had on you. After a bit of testing around on the live stream, I ended up gathering that after a few other deaths via different methods, it turns out that I couldn't really find any of the loot that I would have had on me any of those point in times where I did die, so I ended up turning on keep inventory just so I don't have anything like that happens again due to a weird bug that unfortunately was occurring with the origin. After all that time attempting to try and figure out what actually occurred to make me lose my stuff, looking back at the footage now, it turns out that your stuff just doesn't drop as sands for some weird reason. I spent the remainder of this stream just recollecting a bunch of gear instead of abandoning this world like I did with the last one, mainly because I kind of liked the seed, and it was going well. It's just unfortunate that I did lose everything that I had at the time, but I thought I would continue on with this world. But that would be it for this stream. Moving on to the next one though. This stream is effectively almost an hour of me just mining around trying to find 3 diamonds. Yeah, I tell you right, I did strip mining for almost an entire hour and only successfully found 3 diamonds, after which I went back up to the surface, realized that there's a never ruined or ruined portal right across from my spawn village, and then created a portal there. Stream 3 is ultimately worthless aside from 30 seconds of content, really.
Yeah. But no, I've just been super unlucky. I haven't missed much at all. I just haven't been lucky. Man, sad.
Stream 4 was a little bit better than Stream 3, as it's effectively just me trying to get to a Nether fortress, which the closest one to my portal was roughly 1,000 blocks away in the Nether, over and over again with various degrees of success each and every single time. Effectively, it's just a fun stream to go watch if you want to see me do stupid things for an hour straight, where I just make stupid mistakes, die in various different ways, go the complete different direction than what I should be, and various other things on those lines. But when it comes to content for this video, I did encounter some piglins at one point, gave them like 23 gold, and in exchange I managed to get like 8 ender pearls from them, which was stupendously useful. I would collect some more from other piglins later on, don't have any footage of that unfortunately, but eventually I would make it to the Nether fortress around 10 minutes before the stream would end. Unfortunately though, I would spend the next 10 minutes just roaming through the Nether fortress because I couldn't find a blaze spawner for the life of me. So ultimately, because I felt like the stream was no longer being entertaining at that point, I ended the stream and then collected some blaze rods from a blaze spawner I found about 20 minutes later off camera. But don't worry, the final stream will give you a lot more to chew on because it's, well, the end of the Dragonfire. Come on, let's go. So now it's time to travel another 1,000 blocks or so to go over to the stronghold in the distance. And now, unlike in the Nether, I'm not really going to have too much of a struggle here. I'll make it there the first time. I forget to actually set my spawn into bed properly, so when I accidentally die inside of the stronghold, I end up being taken way back to spawn and I have to do the travel over again, but I made sure to reset my spawn that time round. Overall, it wasn't too much of a hassle. It did take like a good 20-30 minutes to sift around the stronghold because it generated in a very weird way. It was broken in many different ways, like certain parts were broken by caves, were broken by other structures. I believe there was even a possibility that an old spawner was spawned and then a stronghold was spawned over the top of it. Effectively, it was a very weird stronghold to explore, but eventually after a fair bit of time I would inevitably actually find the portal.
Anyway. Oh, it's night time. Okie dokie, I suppose we'll take that. I don't think I have enough of these. Oh no, I have more than enough. Thank the Lord. Name him holy. So! I'll see you. I'm kidding. We're doing it today, boys and girls. You ready for the... Okay, I just wanna... Oh, you... every Oh my lord. Yeah, okay. Yeah, nah. Yeah, I do absolutely no damage. Oh, they can't do damage.
Pause the epic battle here. Unfortunately, there's one very big key issue that I did not realize running into this. The Ender Dragon seems to be pretty much almost immune to most magic based damage. He does take some form of damage from my attacks as Sans, but nowhere near enough to be able to defeat the Ender Dragon in any reasonable amount of time. I believe I spent around 15-ish minutes in total just directly fighting the Ender Dragon, doing little tiny bits of damage until inevitably I was killed at a point. This pretty much means that I either had to A, go back in there and continue to draw out the long bloody fight that it would end up being, or just go grab some beds and finally end it. It became one of those things whether I would be willing to spend potentially half an hour, 40 minutes, almost an hour worth of my time doing the fight over and over again, slowly chipping the Ender Dragon down to absolutely no health, or just finish it off scene as I've already gone so far and I've already spent so much time on it. So here's me destroying the Ender Dragon with some beds and killing myself for the good fun of it at the same time.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Ah. It's done. Done. It's done. The Ender Dragon, he has been murdered. He's been killed. He is dead. That's so unfortunate. Honestly, as I said, I really wanted to beat the Ender Dragon using the abilities that the Sans comes with. Unfortunately, that's not quite the case. Due to how the abilities work and how their attacks are based on magic, unfortunately, magic does not affect the Ender Dragon in a majority of ways, which quite a disappointment. The Ender Dragon has been completely murdered. 20 Minecraft days spent on that, and for 4.5 hours. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you're interested in other Minecraft butt videos I've created, there's this one on screen now where we go through Minecraft The Forgotten Armored Origin. Either way, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye!